y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to the very much requested round 2 of roasting the sale section. First time I did this, y'all got a pretty big kick out of it. I wanted to do it a little bit sooner, but you know, the sale section is kind of subjective and isn't always static. So I went through and there was finally enough things that I had thoughts on for me to do a whole video. Obviously, these are just my opinions. So if this is something you love, something you want to get, that is fine. You keep doing you. This is just me being all kinds of hyperbolic and sassy and roasty. Obviously, I do not know. I am not responsible for any of these items no longer being in the sales section when this video goes up. I will link as much as I possibly can down below, should you be so interested in purchasing. But enough on that, let's just get on in and get ready for a good old-fashioned roast. So the first thing isn't so much one particular item as it is a series of items from one particular brand. Can you guess it? Can you guess it? Kat Von D. A large majority of her stock of her products are currently in the like 50% off. Like her Metal Crush highlighters, the Vegan Love palette, I think her Shade and Light Glimmer palette, a bunch of her eyeliners, not her Trooper eyeliner, because if that had been, I'd have bought a whole bunch of those. But just this huge influx of like her products that are just completely slashed and on sale. I would honestly probably say the majority of her products are more on sale than they aren't. And I feel like that kind of just potentially, maybe, possibly, allegedly, kind of confirms that I feel like her brand is kind of on the phasing out motion. I honestly would not be surprised if by the end of 2020, the Kat Von D beauty would be completely dissolved, because Miss Von D has not been making any kind of positive waves or any kind of like incredible comeback when it comes to the makeup she is releasing. People aren't having it. They're done, and I just think it's just so funny because Kat Von D used to be like the it brand, and now you're scrolling through the sales section, you're like, wow, that's a lot of her product on that clearance rack. So if you'd been eyeing any of that stuff, now's the time to get it. Also, a large majority of her liquid lipsticks are on sale for like $8 a piece. Couple shades are sold out, but I mean, $8. Then something that I'm pretty sure both of these I talked about in my last roasting the sale section video. Also, if you have not seen that, I will leave it linked down below. But the Sephora and Museum of Ice Cream collaboration, as well as the Sephora and House of Lashes collaboration. Y'all, I think my last video I did of this was like, oh my goodness, maybe a year ago? But that's like a year, and this stuff is still in the sales section. Like, I know makeup has expiration dates. I'm not sure if it's like out of packaging or in packaging, but I'm pretty sure makeup has a certain shelf life, and these units have been sitting here for as long as the collaboration happened, which is at least 2 years ago. And they still got units in the warehouse that they can't sell. They're like, we've had this stuff in the clearance section for 2 years and it still ain't moving. I just thought it was so interesting because you're just like, what? That's still there? Like, I understand if no one's buying it, but it comes a point where it's time to discontinue it, you know, just cut your losses and just burn what you have. Because obviously, it's not being purchased even at that clearance price. I'm just like, what? It's still there, folks. It's still a year later. This stuff is still sitting there waiting to be purchased, and it's not gonna happen. Another thing that is kind of just like an overarching theme, but big sets. And what I mean by big sets is like these ginormous collections, very along the lines of the Kat Von D lip vault that I bought, but the big sets of the lipsticks and like the Fenty matchsticks, you know, these sets that are like $170 odd. And they've now got them clearanced because nobody bought them when they came out because they were disgracefully expensive. For like a makeup artist maybe, or someone who absolutely loves the formula, you know, I remember when Kat Von D released her liquid lipstick vault and everybody lost their minds. And I will admit, I saw that Fenty Mademoiselle one and it was like 100 and something and now it's on sale for like 75. I'm like, ooh, but I resisted. I've got a bunch of bullet lipsticks that I don't use now. But just these sets are so impractical, especially for like the everyday consumer. And I understand that makeup is a luxury item, whether you're doing drugstore, high-end, or luxury. But people on their day-to-day just can't afford to buy even just $100 set or even a $50 set, you know, let alone $130, $150, $175. They just aren't practical in any sense of the word. You're getting a lot of product, but they're hideously overpriced. It's this big ticket item. It's just, I just know. These kind of sets just do absolutely nothing for me. Not surprised at all that they're in the sale section because once again, Sephora, I think I said this in my last one, no company, Sephora, Ulta, or just any company ever, they don't actually want to give you a deal. You know, Sephora doesn't want to actually, you know, have you save money. The only reason things typically get clearanced is because they're being discontinued, because something didn't do so well when it was launched. They're like, we got all this extra stock, we got to get rid of it. But things are not clearance just for like the sake of having them on sale, like, you know, a sale at JCPenney or at Macy's. Makeup does not go on sale, and so when it does, it's probably for another reason. This one I thought was kind of, you're just like, oh wow, that was fast. But the Tarte fall collection, all that cute. A couple of y'all tagged me and were like, should we let Soraya know that this mascara is packaged in yellow plaid? Y'all get me, and I like that. But the eyeshadow palette, the like lip gloss sets, the mascara, it's all on sale now. And I don't know if it's like a momentary like, ooh, let's just put it on sale. Cause when I was going through the sale section, Sephora had this like, ooh, 50% off, thus and such. So I don't know what the whole like logistics behind putting it on sale, but like, whoo, that was quick. And I think it also goes to show that just how much stuff is getting released in like this time period, and that there's just so much oversaturation. And because there's so much, a lot of it doesn't sell because there's literally just, I mean, there's oceans of makeup. And so when you've got so much to choose from, it's more likely that a collection is going to get overlooked and it isn't going to be as hyped, you know. And so once again, what are we going to do with these boxes of product we have that didn't sell? Slash a price on it, be like, oh, we're putting this on sale for this special event and you're so lucky to get it at a discount. When in reality, the product isn't selling and slashing the price is a desperate attempt to make some of their money back on it. No shame in the game, just saying how it is. Okay, this one I thought was kind of funny. This is literally, I think I anti-hauled this. I anti-hauled it because, all right, the Becca and Champagne Pop new collection. I had to anti-haul the highlighter because it did a fancy imprint and it had this beautiful gold glittery packaging, and I was like, girl, if I had money to burn, I would have bought that like nobody's business because I like extra stuff. But this collection is honestly the epitome of nobody asked for that, nobody wanted it, nobody needed it, and now because all of those reasons conjoined together, it's sitting in the sale section. But it included, and notice the compact isn't sitting in the sale section, it's all the extras. It's the lip gloss, it's the loose highlighter, it's the liquid. I mean, just all these like new, like things that Becca didn't even do. Like they don't do loose highlighters. They occasionally do lip glosses, but it's not something that's like in their collection all the time. Let's create a bunch of products that we don't typically normally have and slap champagne pop on them and make them gold and glimmery and people will buy it. Wrong. People are not gonna buy it. And I admit, when you see things like that and you're like, ooh, I remember when that came out and I kind of had like a half slight, maybe potentially interested, and then Rational Soraya pulled me back. So when you see it in the sales section, you're like, $11 instead of $22. That's a little bit less offensive, but it's still offensive because, like I said, nobody asked for this. I mean, it's literally just like, why? And then they came out with like that holiday champagne whatever paletteness that's in like a cardboard situation. I'm like, Becca, pull it back. Take a recon. Because at least for the most part, I could stand by their holiday face palettes, and then when they take that quality dive and they're like, well, we're going to put this thing in a fancy gold cardboard, I'm like, you know what? No. So this honestly didn't surprise me when that collection came out. I mean, it literally was just this like, why? Okay, then this is a thing that I honestly know absolutely nothing about. If any of you know why this thing is significant, please let me know. Educate me. I am but a humble peasant. But these like BKR glass water bottles? I must admit, I don't know who BKR is. I don't know why I'd want a glass water bottle, because when I think water bottle, I think take around with me, go jogging, go to work, go to the store, throw in my bag, break. And then like the spiked one, it's like, yeah, let's take this thing that you literally need to grab to use and make it even more difficult to use because it's spiked. Like, you all know, I am alternatively inclined and I like me a good spiked accessory. But a spiked glass water bottle sold at a makeup store. Kind of questioning why that is even a thing. I mean, obviously it does not surprise me that that would be in the sales section because it's literally something that's like, you know, makeup store, water bottle. This isn't Bath and Body Works? I mean Bed Bath and Beyond, y'all know what I meant. Then this one is kind of just like, firstly, no tea, no shade, but long living items in the sales section at Sephora are their own house brand products, which I feel like says something in and of itself. But specifically the Sephora brand, it's like the holographic face and cheek palette. I like a good holographic highlighter as well as the next person. But when you look at this palette, like even when it came out, I was like, what? It just looked a bit like off because it's got like, I mean, obviously like I guess blush or whatever, but it's got that like blue and that pink, and it's like, well, it's not a like subtle shifty blue and pink. It's like Barbie pink and baby blue. And so, you know, taking that against say something like the Anastasia Moonchild or the Aurora, it's like, why do you exist? You look disjointed, you're definitely overpriced, and it was just a product that, you know, even if it weren't the Sephora collection, it's still a product that if when it released, I still would have been like, what? Because it just, at least to me, doesn't look very pleasing to the eye, doesn't look very well thought out. It doesn't look like, you know, some face palettes you look at and you're like, oh yes. Yes! That specific collaboration of colors does me well. This just looks disjointed, messy, impractical. It's in the sales section for a reason. This is actually something that I anti-hauled. So whenever I anti-haul something, I always feel a little vindicated when it ends up in the sales section. But the Lancome Monsieur big heart-shaped eyeshadow palette. Now literally I was like, I anti-hauled it because it looks boring as heck. But also because your girl likes heart motifs, cloud motifs, lip motifs, you know, it's things that are shaped like other things. And I said this thing is just like one big giant freaking gimmick because it's shaped like a heart. And lo and behold, it's a limited edition gimmicky shaped like a heart palette that probably didn't have very good quality that's now sitting in the sales section. I mean, we're just releasing so much that the sales section, oh my goodness. February 1st is gonna be like ground zero for the sales section because there's been so much. come the new year, people are gonna be scouring Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Ross for all the Too Faced holiday sets and just basically everybody's holiday sets. Ain't nobody gonna buy them because they're shoddy quality, they're not thought out, and they're just gonna be moved along. Another thing that's just kind of like, why are you still here? Why haven't you been taken out and just shot? It's a Sephora advent calendar, I want to say from last year, maybe the year before. And this advent calendar has like 2 stars. Like, I can understand something still being in like stock if it's good and people like it and people want to buy it, but a 2-star product that's like in the sales section, you know, like, please give me a reason to live. Why are you there? Why? Just let it go. Let it go. It's outdated. It's old. I mean, just like I said, there's got to be some kind of like, I don't know, ethics or whatever, or something about how long makeup. I know Jeffree Star, after he turns around his inventory and gets rid of old stock and all of that jazz. So I'm not sure what Sephora's rules are, but y'all be holding on to this stuff for a real long time. Make like Marie Kondo, thank it for the good times it's given you, and then let it go. Okay, then last but not least, this is just kind of like a tag-on item and I was going through. A Bobbi Brown eyeshadow palette. I think it's in the sales section because it's they call it the Molten Drama palette. When in reality, it looks more like Molten Boredom, because when I think drama, I mean, I understand some people think drama is just like a shimmer over your eyes. I'm like, I'm gonna need some serious drama. And this just looks like a very undramatic, very sad, very pitiful eyeshadow palette. I mean, Bobbi Brown is ridiculously overpriced anyway, so there could be a myriad of reasons why it's in the sale section, but personally, I think it's because it's boring, and we ain't out here for like boring eyeshadow palettes anymore. Even if they're 50% off, we say no. All right, all y'all, there we had that installment of roasting the sales section. I mean, it's just kind of funny going through, and it's so revealing because you're just like, oh, wow, because it really is true that, like, unlike clothing that gets like, you know, you get turnaround and so you get a discount on it because it's time for the new stuff to come in. That's not something that happens with makeup. So whenever it goes on sale, you're kind of like, you're questioning the reason behind it being on clearance. But honestly, let me know your thoughts about the products I talked about. If they're things that you love or you're planning to get, let me know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. And as always, keep it real. Mwah!